They emptied the 120,000 euros I'd saved since I was 18 and used it to pay off my brother's student loans, finance his honeymoon, and buy him a luxury car. When I called them, my father said, "Thanks for your naivete. You're part of the family now, pay your share." I stared at the phone like it had barked at me. "Excuse me?" I asked, not because I hadn't heard him, but because I wanted him to repeat it, slower, with the weight it deserved. But he just laughed and added, "Come on, you've always been the responsible one. What's a little help for your brother? You're not going to be selfish, are you?" And that's when I started to laugh. A hard, dry, bitter laugh, the kind that sounds like it's bouncing off broken glass. Because the money they took, every cent of that 120,000 euros, wasn't what they thought it was. But we'll get to that. Let me back up a bit. The last time I saw my parents in person was during a family dinner at the end of March. I brought wine, a cake I'd baked the night before, and a clumsy attempt at optimism. I hadn't seen my brother for months, but there he was, freshly tanned from his honeymoon. He was wearing a Rolex he definitely didn't have the last time he posted a mirror selfie. I remember exactly what my father said that night. We were halfway through dinner when he raised his glass and said, "To Yvonne's future, may his student loans not haunt him, and may his new car treat him better than his last mistake." Then he turned to me. "And thank you, Alvaro, for being the kind of son who doesn't give us any worries, for always being the good one." My mother chuckled softly. My brother flashed a cocky smile. I still didn't get it. It wasn't until the next morning, when I checked my bank account, that I realized my life savings were gone. Everything. Every penny I'd saved since 18, every birthday check I never cashed, every freelance payment I tucked away in my someday fund. 120,000 euros, like a bathtub someone else had bathed in. At first, I thought it was a scam, a hack. I called the bank, half panicked, half embarrassed. It wasn't unauthorized. Apparently, they had added my name to a family trust account months ago, a joint structure for emergencies. I'd signed something at Christmas, I remember the papers, but they said it was a tax form for a family investment plan. They treated it like routine, and I signed it like a fool. Like family. But it got worse. The funds had already been distributed. 58,000 euros to pay off Yvonne's master's degree, 12,000 euros to book the honeymoon in the Canary Islands, 38,500 euros for a brand new Seat Leon. The rest, various family expenses. I called them, shaking, furious, but polite, because for some reason, that's how they raised me. My mother didn't answer. My brother replied with a heart emoji and a thumbs up. And my father answered and said, "Thanks for your naivete. You're part of the family now, pay your share." And that's when something inside me broke. Not exploded, but cracked. Slow, deep, like something heavy shifting beneath a frozen lake. I couldn't stop laughing because the money they stole wasn't what they thought it was, and neither was I. When I was 19, I gave my laptop to my brother because his broke and he needed it for university. When I was 21, I paid my parents' mortgage for 3 months because Dad said the market was tough and they'd pay me back everything. When I was 24, I co-signed on a loan for Yvonne because his credit was just a formality. By the time I was 27, I had sent them so much money I had to keep it all in a spreadsheet so I wouldn't lose my mind. And not once did they say thank you. It never presented itself as generosity, it presented itself as duty. I was the reliable one, the fixer. The supporting character in their movie who always shows up in the third act with a check and a weary smile. But they weren't villains. Not at first. My father was charming. Everyone said so. He knew how to tell stories, pour a drink, make you feel like the center of the universe, until you disagreed with him. Then he'd tear you down with the smile still on his face. My mother was sweet, quiet, always caught in the middle, but she never stopped him, not once. And Yvonne, my spoiled brother, wielded guilt like a surgeon with a scalpel. I'm trying, man. It's not easy being the one who carries all the expectations. You wouldn't understand. You're not the one with all the pressure on your shoulders. I paid for his law school entrance exam prep. He dropped out. I paid for his second chance at business school. He disappeared from the program for 6 weeks to go to Formentera, but he still kept showing up. I kept sending money because I believed, like a naive fool, that someday they would see me. Not as a wallet, not as a plan B, but as a person. That belief died the day I saw the Instagram post. Ivan, posing in front of his new seat Leon, one hand on the roof, the other arm around his fiancée. The caption read, "Work hard, play harder. Starting a new chapter. Hashtag hard work pays offs, hashtag blessed, hashtag no handouts." No handouts. I sat on the floor of my apartment, in the same sweatpants I'd been wearing for 3 days, staring at the screen like it was speaking another language. That car, that getaway, his ring, my money. But to the world, he was a self-made man. I didn't comment. I didn't react. I just closed the app and opened my files. Because here's the thing. I had screenshots of the transfers, of the pleading messages, of the lies. I had the emergency emails, the receipts, the PayPal logs, the bank transfer confirmations, and the page with the signature for the trust account they tricked me into signing, still saved in my cloud because I'm paranoid about those things. But it got worse. My cousin Sophia texted me, "Hey, is it true what your mom said about you investing in Ivan's startup? That's amazing." She said I believed in him when no one else did. I stared at the screen. Startup? There was no startup. I asked for proof. Sophia sent a screenshot of a family group chat. My mother had written, "We're so grateful to Alvaro. He believed in Ivan's app idea." That's what family does. It's not about the money, it's about trust. That's when I understood it wasn't just theft, it was narrative theft. They weren't just using my money, they were using my name to make Ivan look like a genius. I was the silent investor, the supporting character, the invisible crutch. So I messaged my mother. "There's no app, is there?" She replied, "You're overthinking again. Why do you always do this?" That was their trick. Every time I asked for the truth, they turned it into a flaw in my personality. I ignored her. I started digging deeper. I contacted the bank, confirmed every transaction, and then, out of pure suspicion, I checked my credit report. And then the floor opened beneath me. They had opened a second line of credit in my name, linked to my old family address. 17,200 euros charged in the last 90 days. Flights, jewelry, spa packages, a 6,500 euro furniture purchase at a classic furniture store. All under the guise of shared family credit. I called my father, this time with no pleasantries. He answered like nothing was wrong. "Hey, son. I was just talking to Ivan about the possibility of you helping them with the down payment on their house. The market is tough, but it's time he started building his equity." I didn't even raise my voice. "You opened a second line of credit in my name. You forged my signature." Silence. Then laughter. "Don't be dramatic. We're family. You've always been the responsible one. It evens out. This is fraud." "No, son, this isn't fraud, it's legacy. You help Ivan now and then he'll help your kids." I hung up. But they weren't done. That same night, they added me to a new group chat. Extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins. The name. Family first. The first message was from my mother. "Please support Ivan and Laura's new life. Alvaro has been so generous, true family values. We're proud of him." The second message was a link to familydonations.com. Goal: 50,000 euros. Purpose: support for down payment and business growth. Featured donors: my name, twice. One anonymous 5,000 euro donation from older brother. I hadn't donated a cent. They were using me as bait, and people were buying it. I wanted to scream. But instead, I clicked download. Every message, every lie, every pixel of manipulation, because I was done, and I was just beginning. You used my name to fund your fantasy. Now I'll use my voice to end your story. I scheduled the live stream for 8 p.m. No previews, no drama, just a cold title. What does betrayal sound like when it comes with a smile? I have the proof. At 7:55 p.m., there were 60 people waiting. By 11 p.m., over 900. Mostly family. Some acquaintances, some strangers. I recognized one of Laura's cousins in the chat comments. I started with silence. Just a slide with the title, How My Family Stole 120,000 euros and Called It Love. Then I turned on the camera. Hi, I'm Alvaro. You might have seen my name on FamilyDonations.com, in Facebook posts, maybe in wedding photos. You probably thought I was the generous one, the good brother, the quiet son. I was quiet, but not anymore. I clicked to the next slide. Screenshot of my savings account, Emptied. 120,437 euros and 52 cents withdrawn over 7 months, categorized as tuition reimbursement, Yvonne, family travel, honeymoon prep, vehicle assistance, miscellaneous. I didn't say anything. I let them read it. Then I spoke. I didn't authorize a single one of those transfers, but my name was on the trust account because they tricked me into signing a fake tax form at Christmas. I moved to the next slide. My credit report. New credit card opened from my old family address. Balance, 17,200 euros. Then the forged signature. I zoomed in. That's not my handwriting, but that's my name. That's my credit history. That's my life. The chat exploded. This is criminal. Your own family, man. This isn't drama, it's actual fraud. Wait, I donated to that campaign. I moved to the next file. A screenshot of the campaign on FamilyDonations.com. My name listed as a 5,000 euro donor. I had never given anything. This entire campaign, a lie. My name used to lend credibility. I'm not angry at those who donated. I understand why you did it. I believed in them once, too. But it's important that the truth gets out. They created the campaign to bring in more money. Some donated because they thought, if his brother believes in him, maybe I should, too. But I didn't believe. Then came the audio. My father's voice, clipped from a call 2 weeks prior. You're part of this family, Alvaro. You can't opt out here. Everyone pays their share. And then his laugh. Thanks for being so naive. That made it easier. The stream froze for a second. Comments flooded the chat, and then one name stood out amongst them all. Laura, Yvonne's ex-fiancée, wrote, I didn't know he used your money. I'm so sorry. 3 dots. Then another comment. He told me you co-signed on the seat Leon, out of love. I should have known. I didn't respond. I just moved to the last slide. One final message. This isn't revenge, this is self-defense. You used my silence, my savings, my signature. I'm not here to mourn. I'm here to close the door. And if it slams shut, so be it. I'm not here to humiliate. I'm here to reclaim my name and to show how easy it is to erase someone's voice when they stay quiet for too long. And with that, I ended the stream. At 8:41 p.m., my phone rang. Dad. Ignored. 8:42 p.m., Mom. Voicemail. How could you do this to us? We're humiliated. 8:45 p.m., Yvonne texted. You really think the internet is going to love you forever? You're just bitter. I replied with a single sentence. I kept the original trust document and the call logs. Keep writing. He didn't reply. That night, my story started to go viral under a hashtag I didn't create. Hashtag family fraud. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel shame. I felt seen. You didn't lose your reputation because I told the truth. You lost it because you built it on my silence. By morning, the stream had surpassed 220,000 views. By afternoon, it was embedded in 3 blogs, reposted on TikTok, analyzed by financial educators, therapists, and one lawyer who said, point blank, this is a textbook example of financial abuse within a family. And he handled it like a surgeon. I didn't smile, not once, because I knew what was coming next. At 3:27 p.m., my mother posted something on Facebook. A photo of Yvonne and me as kids, smiling, holding lollipops in the garden. The caption read, No mother is perfect, but no mother deserves to be publicly crucified by her own son. We raised our children with love, even when we had nothing. We forgive. We sacrifice. But some forget that. Beneath it, hundreds of comments. Stay strong. Keep your head up. He'll come around. This generation cancels everything, even blood. But there was something different. Amongst the pity posts, voices like mine started to appear. She didn't address the evidence and the forged credit line. Wait, didn't they actually steal from him? I saw the video. Don't try to manipulate us. Before midnight, my mother's post had been flagged 6 times for misinformation. The next day, I received a letter from a lawyer. A cease and desist order. Accusations of defamation, emotional distress, threats of legal action. I didn't flinch. Instead, I forwarded the letter to my own lawyer, Carmen, and attached the trust document signed with falsified information, an audio file of my father admitting to the theft, screenshots of the donations on Family Donations.com falsely attributed to me, and a bank statement tracking 120,000 euros in unauthorized withdrawals. Carmen replied with a single line. We have commenced legal action. By 6 p.m., I had filed a countersuit. Formal claim for full reimbursement, 120,000 euro plus 5% penalty for unauthorized use of financial instruments, credit fraud, and reputational damages. It was sent to both my parents' lawyer and their accountant. I made sure of it. Then I posted, just once. No hashtags, no anger, just the truth. You didn't lose your reputation because I spoke. You lost it because I stopped covering for you. Attached, legal filings, bank screenshots, FamilyDonations.com records. It spread like wildfire in a dry pine forest. Hashtag TM Alvaro started trending. Then hashtag family fraud. Then hashtag Nodio Ursinamore. People from all over the world shared it. Some wrote me their own stories, others offered free legal counsel. A nonprofit for victims of financial abuse reposted my stream with this comment. Not all abusers are partners. Sometimes they share your last name. Thursday, the fallout began. Yvonne deleted all his social media accounts. Laura's parents canceled all the wedding arrangements. The venue voided the reservation. The gift registry vanished. My mother's Facebook account got deleted after people started filling her old posts with screenshots from my video. My father tried posting a vague, macho-type status. Real men don't complain online. It got 3 likes, all from people who hadn't seen the live stream yet. On Friday, I received a message from an unknown number. I opened it only because curiosity beat dignity. It was a photo of a bank transfer confirmation. 120,000 euros transferred to my personal account. Memo. Family resolution. No apology, no message, just the money. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I forwarded the image to Carmen and told her, mark it as received, but tell them the interest was silence, and I'm not accepting it anymore. She replied, do you want to respond publicly? I shook my head. No. They've said enough. They still tried it. One last post from my mother, from a private account. We've worked everything out. There were misunderstandings. Love always wins. But people weren't buying it anymore. Not after the truth had faces, files, and over 200,000 witnesses. I didn't respond. I didn't repost. I just sat in my silent apartment, rent paid for a year, fridge full, no missed calls, no family chat, and I let the silence bloom. It didn't feel empty, it felt earned. I didn't disappear to punish them. I disappeared so I wouldn't have to survive them anymore. It didn't happen overnight, but once I started cutting, I didn't stop. I changed everything. Bank accounts closed. Phone number deactivated. City center apartment sold, cash only. I never went back to pack. I just hired a service and told them, burn the furniture. I moved 1,200 miles south and rented a no-lease apartment in a city no one could guess. A place without shine, damp, anonymous. I chose the name Alvaro E. Cruz because it sounded clean. It sounded like someone who never owed anyone anything. And I was done being the guy everyone called when the roof leaked or the bills piled up. I bought a used Renault Clio, no loan, no flash. I stopped wearing watches. I stopped celebrating my birthday. I started living on hard resets. Every click a new password. Every sunrise a new rule. No family, no blood, just silence. At first, they tried. My mother used other people's phones, fake accounts. Her messages were always the same. Please, just talk to us. This isn't what family does. We're still your parents. She didn't understand that parents don't forge your signature, that real love doesn't come with bank statements and shame. So I blocked every number, every platform, every ghost they sent. Even Yvonne tried it once. A single message. No greeting. Congratulations. You've become a martyr. Don't choke on your ego. I didn't respond. I didn't even take a screenshot. Because he didn't exist anymore, at least not to me. 3 months passed. I got a new job, freelance cybersecurity for a company based in Galicia, paid in cryptocurrency. No HR, no tax forms, under my real name. I started running at night, no music, just the sound of gravel, wind, and my body catching up to itself. I didn't tell anyone where I was, not even the people I worked with. I became a whisper in a new place. And it was beautiful. Until the envelope arrived. A thick one, no return address, just an embossed seal, Rivas and Galvin Buffet. At first, I thought they'd found me. Maybe Mom hired someone. Maybe Yvonne wanted to sue me for emotional damages. I stared at it for 20 minutes before slicing it open with a kitchen knife. Inside, 2 sheets. One formal, one personal. Formal. You are hereby informed of the passing of Mr. Fernando Rivas. The deceased's final will and testament has been processed. Personal. Mr. Rivas has intentionally chosen not to leave any assets, property, or inheritance to Alvaro Rivas. This is not a clerical error. There it was, in black ink, a final verdict from a man who spent his life humiliating me in public, then pretending I was too sensitive in private. He was gone, and in his last breath of legacy, he made sure the paperwork reflected his pettiness. I read the words slowly, then again, and then again. And then I laughed, because after a lifetime of empty promises and broken words, he finally kept one. I didn't go to the funeral. I didn't even ask if there was one. I didn't check obituaries or create a fake account to spy. I did one thing. I printed the will. I drove to a beach where no one knew my name. I built a small bonfire on the sand, and I fed that will to the flames, line by line. As the smoke rose into the sky, I whispered, "You didn't forget me. You erased me. And now I'm returning the favor." Later that week, I activated my final digital trigger. An auto-reply that read, "This number is no longer in service. This name is no longer valid. If you're looking for Alvaro, you've already lost him." I programmed it on my old email before deleting the account for good. Now, I drink coffee alone. I watch people laugh from a distance, and I feel nothing but freedom. No one in my new life knows I had a brother. No one asks about my parents, and I never correct them. They think I'm quiet. They think I'm reserved. But really, I'm clean. I carry nothing I didn't build with my own 2 hands. And every morning, when I wake up in the stillness, I remember what it feels like to be needed only when someone else is falling apart. Last line. They wanted to bury me in obligation. I chose silence, not as punishment, but as survival. And when my father left me nothing, for once, he kept a promise.